Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is me Iramgul and you are watching my YouTube channel Chemtracks by IGM. Dear students, today we are going to start polysaccharides. As name indicated, polysaccharides are type of carbohydrates that are made up of many sugars, molecule or many simple sugars. Polysaccharides are polymeric carbohydrate structure formed of repeating units, either mono or disaccharides, joined together by a glycosidic bond. Polysaccharides have a general formula of CXH2OY, where X is usually the large number between 200 to 2500. These structures are often linear but may contain various degrees of branching. They may be amorphous or even insoluble in water. Based on monosaccharide units, polysaccharides are broadly put into two main categories. One is homopolysaccharide and are homopolymers, and second is heteropolysaccharides or heteropolymers. So let's discuss homopolymers and heteropolymers. If the polysaccharides consist of only one type of monosaccharide units, these are called as homopolysaccharides or homopolymers. Homo means same type. Common example of homopolysaccharides are starch, which is comprises of only D-glucose units. While heteropolymers or heteropolysaccharides or such type of molecules when more than one type of monosaccharides are present in a polysaccharide, they are called heteropolysaccharide. For example, pectin is a polymer of galacturonic acid and it's methylated ester. Let's discuss homopolymers in detail. Just we studied that the common example of homopolysaccharides are starch or glycogen type molecule, which are comprises the same type of monosaccharide units. So there are some major storage polysaccharides that are categorized under homopolymers or homopolysaccharides, and the first one is starch. Starch constitutes the most predominant storage polysaccharide in nature, and it is a characteristic storage sugar of all plant cells. This is abundant in tuber like potatoes and corn seed. Starch is a polymer of glucose and contains two types of glucose polymers. One is amylose and second is amylopectin. Amylose consists of linear unbranched chains, several hundred D-glucose residues. These glucose residues are linked by alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage between their carbon number 1 and carbon number 4. So it is called as alpha 1,4 linkage. Molecular weight of such chains or amylose chain may extend up to 50,000. This is a common amylose chain. It consists of alpha D glucose, and there is alpha 1,4 linkage between carbon number 1 and carbon number 4 or of glucose molecule. The second chain is amylopectin. Amylopectin differ from amylose in being highly branched. Amylose is a simple, while amylopectin is more branched than the amylose. So it is highly branched. The total number of glucose residue in a molecule of amylopectin may run into several thousands. Branching take place with the alpha 1,6 bond occurring every 24 to 30 glucose unit. Basically, this linkage is called as alpha 1,6 linkage because this is the carbon number 6 of this glucose molecule, and this one is the carbon number 1 of another glucose molecule. So this is the alpha 1,6 linkage between two glucose unit. So this is called as alpha 1,6 linkage. Significances of starch. Starch can be transformed into many commercial products by hydrolysis using acids or enzymes as catalyst. First, it is produced by the hydrolysis of starch, that is dextrin. It is a mixture of mixtures of polymers of D-glucose units linked by alpha 1,4 or alpha 1,6 glycosidic bonds. These are low in molecular weight. When produced by heat, these are termed as pyrodextrins. Partial hydrolysis of starch result in a less sweet or almost flavorless compound that is called as maltodextrin. These are easily digestible and hence act as a source of readily available energy. These can be easily derived from any starch molecule. Starch is also used to make some syrups, such as corn syrup made from the hydrolysis of corn starch. Corn syrup solids are mildly sweet, semi-crystalline, or powdery amorphous product. The latter are not readily digested but partially fermented by the intestinal bacteria. Another thing is high fructose corn syrup. It is another derivative of corn syrup which is as sweet as sugar and often used in soft drink. When starch is modified by any mechanical or chemical treatment, the resulting product is modified starch. Next is hydrogenated glucose syrup or HGS. It is produced by hydrolyzing of starch followed by its hydrogenation. The resulting syrup is used to produce sugar alcohol as well as hydrogenated oligo or polysaccharides molecule. Another commercial product of starch is polydextrose or poly-D-glucose is a highly branched and synthetic polymer. It is known to possess many types of glycosidic linkage which are generated upon heating dextrose. Next important polysaccharide or homopolymer is glycogen. Glycogen is the main storage polysaccharide in animal cells, a counterpart of starch in plant cells. So, starch is storage molecule in plant cell, while glycogen is a main storage polysaccharide in animal cell. Glycogen is also branch polysaccharide of D-glucose monomer units bonded via alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage. The alpha 1,6 branches in glycogens are shorter and more frequent and extensive than those in amylopectin. The overall structure is more compact here. Like these small dots are basically the glucose units. The glucose chains are organized globularly, originating from a pair of molecules of glycogenine, a protein with a molecular weight of 38,000 at the core of the structure. Glycogen is easily converted back to glucose to provide energy. What we obtain by hydrolysis of starch and glycogen. Both glycogen and starch are hydrolyzed in the digestive tract by alpha amylases present in the saliva and pancreatic juice, which are secreted into the digestive tract. Alpha amylase hydrolyzes the alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage of the outer branches of glycogen and amylopectin of starch, resulting in D-glucose, maltose, and a resistant code named as limit dextrin. Alpha amylase cannot further hydrolyze the limit dextrin because of their inability to cleave or to break down the alpha 1,6 linkages. This, however, is achieved by another debranching enzyme that is alpha 1,6 glycosidase. It is acting on the branch linkages so it can easily cleave the alpha 1,6 linkage. Together, alpha amylase and alpha 1,6 glycosidase completely degrade glycogen and starch in or amylopectin of starch into the simple glucose units. Beta amylase, another enzyme, hydrolyze the alternate alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage, yielding mostly maltose with very little glucose. So basically, the hydrolysis of starch is resulting in smaller units, disaccharides or monosaccharides like maltose and glucose unit. Third most important homopolymer or polysaccharide is cellulose. Cellulose is the major structural polysaccharide predominant in the cell wall of the plant. Cellulose is found in the cell wall of stalks, stems, trunks, woody portion of plant tissues. Like starch, cellulose also comprises of glucose as monomer units which are linked by beta 1,4 glycosidic bonds in a linear fashion. So there is minute difference between the linkages of starch and cellulose. In cellulose, there is beta 1,4 linkage. This is basically the beta 1,4 linkage between two glucose units. So this cellulose is differ from starch in respect of their linkages. Like starch, cellulose also comprises of glucose monomer units which are linked by beta 1,4 glycosidic bonds in a linear fashion. The absence of side chain allows cellulose molecule to lie close together and form a rigid structure. So this is the reason why cellulose is used as a cell wall of plant, or why the outer covering of plant is hard and rigid. It is hard and rigid due to the glycosidic linkage of cellulose. The basic structural difference between cellulose and starch or glycogen is that in cellulose, the glucose monomer units are linked by beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage, just I told you. While in amylose, amylopectin, or glycogen, the glycosidic linkages are alpha 1,4 or alpha 1,6. On account of this structural difference, the main chain in glycogen or starch assume a coiled or helical conformation leading to the formation of a dense granules. The main chain of cellulose, on the other hand, take up an extended conformation and allow lateral aggregation to form insoluble fibrils. Cellulose are hydrolyzed to its constituent glucose units by microorganisms that inhibit the digestive tract of termites and ruminants. The intestinal tract of termite, herbivores, commiphora, and a parasite microorganism that secretes enzyme cellulase, which is cellulose hydrolyzing enzyme. So cellulose or the linkages between the cellulose molecule will be cleaved by enzyme cellulase. Cellulase is mostly unavailable as food for vertebrates. Cellulose is mostly unavailable as food for vertebrates since they can't be digested or hydrolyzed by any enzyme in them except cattle and ruminants animal. The digestive system of cattle and ruminant animal like sheep, goat, camel, etc. Thus abundant with the microorganism that secrete the cellulase enzyme to degrade cellulose to glucose units. There are some functions of starch and cellulose. The precise function of this class of biomolecule in the cells are innumerable. Carbohydrates are the source of energy. For example, it is equal to 4 kilocalories per gram in most diet. Potato, rice, wheat, and corn are major sources of starch in the human diet, which provide bulk of the calories. Cellulose is the major constituent of cell wall. Wood, cotton, paper are formed from the cellulose. Carbohydrates also form the part of some glycoproteins. So this is a brief introduction of polysaccharides and specifically homopolysaccharides or homopolymers, which are starch, glycogen, and cellulose. I hope you will enjoy the lecture. Subscribe my channel, like this video, and share with your friends. Thank you. Goodbye.